Imagine this: Hollywood's golden goddess Lana Turner, an icon worshipped by millions, spends her final months battling cancer. In 1994, during one last taped conversation, she whispers a confession so explosive it silenced the entire room. I have loved 7 women, and every single one made me despise myself. For decades, this secret tape was hidden, buried by studios terrified of the scandal, until it leaked in 2023, unmasking not just Lana's forbidden truth, but the shocking identities of 7 legendary actresses she claimed as lovers and enemies. Tonight, we unravel them all, starting with the most mysterious of them, Greta Garbo, the secret lover. No one in Hollywood dared whisper her name in public. Greta Garbo, the goddess of the 1930s, the woman who redefined mystery on screen with Grand Hotel and Queen Christina. By the mid-1940s, she had disappeared from cinema, retreating into a shadowed mansion on Franklin Avenue, Los Angeles. Few imagined that behind those curtains, she was hiding a secret, not just from the world, but from the studios that ruled it. In 1946, Lana Turner, fresh from a mental breakdown at Cedars of Lebanon Hospital, met Garbo at a private Man Ray exhibition in Malibu. That night was unforgettable. Garbo in an all-black ensemble, silk hat veiling half her face, Lana glowing in ivory Dior. Their eyes met and a dangerous story began. Within weeks, Lana became a constant presence in Garbo's house. Inside, time itself felt suspended. No clocks, curtains drawn tight, classical music echoing through rooms like prayers in a cathedral, nights of whispers, glances, and quiet touches, until obsession crept in. One rainy April night, Lana rummaged through a drawer for medicine and found something chilling: a hidden camera disguised inside an old RCA phonograph, its lens fixed directly on the bed. Days later, an anonymous film reel of Lana, disheveled, asleep, arrived at MGM headquarters. No note, no signature, just damning proof. The studio summoned Lana immediately. She was forced to sign a morality agreement, a contract forbidding any homosexual relationships. It was the price of survival. I had to treat my feelings as if they were a crime, she later confessed. But the deepest wound wasn't legal, it was personal. Soon after, Lana discovered another woman leaving Garbo's house at dawn, Marie Dubois, a French photographer Garbo had lived with years earlier. In that instant, Lana realized the truth. She was not the first, not the only, not the last. Years later, when asked about Garbo, Lana's reply was haunting. I once believed I was her final chapter. Then I understood. I was just another recurring scene. When Lana Turner was asked about her first true experience with love, she never mentioned a man. Her answer was immediate: Barbara Stanwyck. September 1941. Lana was just 20, still glowing from the success of Ziegfeld Girl and about to land her first lead role. On the Paramount lot, she encountered Barbara for the first time. Stanwyck entered the lighting test room unannounced, gray silk blouse, black coffee in hand, her cold eyes ignoring everyone. The room fell silent. Everyone looked away except Lana. She looked up, and that single glance altered the next 3 months of her life. To Lana, Barbara was confidence embodied, sharp, untouchable, intoxicating. But Barbara didn't love, she used. At the time, she needed Lana, a public companion to silence rumors about her failing marriage to Robert Taylor, a distraction from whispered scandals about her late nights with a married producer. Lana thought she was chosen. That illusion only deepened when Barbara invited her to a secret bungalow behind the Beverly Hills Hotel. Later, Lana would learn she wasn't the first. Other actresses had been brought there. One had even attempted suicide. The spiral began with little blue pills Barbara called creative relaxants. Then came the drinks, then the blackouts. Lana, eager to emulate Barbara's strength, followed blindly, while Barbara remained cold, sober, and calculating, signing deals as Lana slipped deeper into dependence. The studio noticed. When paparazzi caught the two at Club Del Mar, MGM moved swiftly. Lana was dragged into Louis B. Mayer's office and forced to sign a new morality clause. Avoid any private, intimate relationships with female colleagues without PR approval. Overnight, her nurse vanished. Her medications were confiscated. In her diary, Lana wrote, I was treated like a depreciating asset. The breaking point came one December night. Lana arrived at the bungalow early and found Barbara in nothing but a blue robe, pouring drinks for a married director who had once rejected Lana for lacking depth. The betrayal shattered her. Hours later, she collapsed outside the hotel. The press reported exhaustion. The truth was far darker, withdrawal convulsions and a complete nervous breakdown. Barbara Stanwyck had given Lana her first taste of passion. She also left her with her first scar, the bitter lesson that love could be nothing more than exploitation. By 1949, Lana Turner's life was unraveling. Her third divorce had turned into a feeding frenzy for the press. Everywhere she went, cameras followed, reporters clawed for scandal. In those dark days, one woman seemed to offer comfort, Ann Sheridan. They met at the premiere of The Fountainhead in Los Angeles. Amidst the blinding flashes of photographers, Anne leaned close, whispered something into Lana's ear, and for the first time in weeks, Lana laughed. That spark of relief was enough. Within days, they began meeting in secret. Their rendezvous took place in a penthouse on Franklin Avenue, rented under the name of Anne's assistant. To Lana, it felt like sanctuary, but what she didn't know was that the safe space was a stage. Hidden behind a two-way mirror, a tape recorder whirred through their private moments, capturing Lana's laughter, her confessions, her most vulnerable secrets. Every word, every sigh was being archived by someone else's hand. The trap sprung in October 1949. Lana received a plain envelope in the mail. No signature. Inside, a recording of her intimate conversations with Anne, along with a copy of a letter she had sent MGM, begging for contract renewal after the divorce scandal. At the bottom, a single note. We have much more than this. If you believe your career can survive after a lesbian affair is exposed, try. 2 days later, director Irving Cummings cut Lana from the starlet's confession. Advertising contracts were frozen. The studio stopped returning calls. In less than a week, her career had collapsed. That October 14th, after 8 hours locked alone in her hotel room, Lana swallowed an entire bottle of Nembutal. The hotel gatekeeper, alarmed by music playing for hours without pause, broke down her door. She was found unconscious, blood on her hand from shattered glass, and a chilling message scrawled in red lipstick on the vanity mirror. If I'm not pure enough to be loved, at least let me rest in peace. She survived 3 days in a coma, but the world now knew. The Hollywood Citizen News ran the headline, "The Spotlight Has Killed a Rose." And Ann Sheridan? She never visited. A week later, she appeared on Jack Warner's arm, smiling under the lights, wearing a sapphire bracelet Lana had once gifted her. For Lana, the betrayal was complete. Anne hadn't just taken her trust, she had weaponized it. In 1948, Lana Turner was still reeling from heartbreak. At a Hollywood party inside the infamous Garden of Allah Hotel, a playground where secrets stayed whispered, she met the force of nature that was Tallulah Bankhead. Tallulah was bold, reckless, and intoxicating. She slid a gin and tonic into Lana's hand and, with a half smirk, whispered, "Want to know how to live without a man?" That line was the spark. Soon, nights blurred into a haze of cigarette smoke, French perfume, and forbidden embraces. Tallulah introduced Lana to an underground circle of exiled female artists, women the studios blacklisted as too ambiguous. For the first time, Lana felt she could breathe without hiding, but Tallulah's affection came with a sharp edge. On January 18, 1949, at a Columbia Pictures cocktail party in Laurel Canyon, with over 80 of Hollywood's elite in attendance, Tallulah struck. She called for the music to stop and invited Lana to the center of the room. Everyone held their breath, expecting a toast or tribute. Instead, Tallulah opened a small velvet box. Inside was not a diamond, but a rusted toilet keychain. With a mocking smile, she announced, "For the woman who thought she was my lover, but was only the keeper of my spare key." The room erupted in cruel laughter. Lana stood frozen, humiliated under the gaze of Hollywood's power brokers. No one intervened. Later that night in the back of her car, she vomited violently, not from alcohol, but from the weight of shame. Tallulah twisted the knife further. Days later, she sent a handwritten note to the Los Angeles Mirror. "Hollywood is full of lonely ladies. I only help them wake up before it's too late." From that moment, Lana's silence was her only defense. Years later, when asked about Tallulah, she offered a chilling reflection. Some people teach you how to love, others teach you how to spit out what tastes sweet but burns like acid. But Hollywood wasn't done with her yet, because the next woman Lana trusted wasn't just dangerous to her heart, she was dangerous to her very freedom, Marlene Dietrich. By 1950, Lana Turner had barely survived scandal after scandal, but nothing could prepare her for the whirlwind that was Marlene Dietrich. Fresh from her triumphant tours entertaining Allied troops, Marlene returned to Hollywood like a queen reclaiming her throne. At a Warner Brothers gala in Bel Air, she sat at the far end of the table, dazzling under chandeliers in a tuxedo and a single black glove. When Lana approached, Marlene leaned in with her velvet voice, a predator smile dancing on her lips. Within 3 secret meetings, Lana was entranced. Soon after, Columbia Pictures mysteriously offered Lana the lead in a political drama set in East Germany. The salary was double her last film, yet no script had been released and no director confirmed. Behind the deal, Marlene Dietrich. Whispering into Lana's ear, she delivered a line that haunted her forever. "You will not just be an actress. You will be a piece on my chessboard." From then on, Lana was drawn into Marlene's private circle, exclusive salons in Brentwood, where French and Russian mingled with Cold War politics. Lana didn't fully understand the discussions. She was simply the ornament at Marlene's side, unaware of the trap being set. It snapped shut in March 1951. The Los Angeles Examiner published a front-page bombshell, "Top Hollywood star linked to pro-Soviet group." The article included a leaked photo of Lana in Marlene's arms, taken at a private gathering with 2 former Communist Party members. The fallout was instant. Lana was summoned to testify before HUAC, the House Un-American Activities Committee. Her contracts were suspended. MGM considered cutting her loose. And Marlene? She had vanished to Switzerland a week earlier, leaving Lana to face the storm alone. 3 months later, Marlene's former assistant revealed the cruel truth. For Dietrich, Lana had never been a lover, only a prop. At a dinner in Zurich, she had said it plainly. "Attach my name to a burning star, and I shine brighter. If she's destroyed, she'll be remembered. If I fade quietly, I won't." Betrayed and nearly blacklisted, Lana spent a year hiding in Palm Springs, even planning to flee America. But just as she began to recover, the next woman didn't merely threaten her reputation, she turned fame itself into a weapon. That woman was Joan Crawford. By 1952, Lana Turner was still staggering from the wreckage left by Marlene Dietrich. Contracts gone, reputation shredded, hope fading. That was when a lifeline appeared, draped in fur and crimson lipstick. Joan Crawford. Joan sent a personal invitation. She had written a supporting role just for Lana in her film Torch Song. For a star quietly blacklisted, it felt like salvation, and Joan knew it. At first, she played the role of savior flawlessly. She showered Lana with Dior gowns, invited her to intimate dinners with PepsiCo chairman Alfred Steele, her new husband, and whispered promises of protection. Lana, desperate for stability, believed she had found not just a mentor, but a friend, and perhaps more. But Joan was never anyone's friend. Behind the glamour, she was a master manipulator. On set, she engineered humiliations, forcing Lana into unnecessary reshoots, springing surprise script changes, even demanding she perform a stage artistic kiss with another actress in front of 80 crew members. "It's just art," Joan purred. But the next day, photos of that kiss exploded across Confidential magazine under the headline, "Turner trades roles for same-sex scandal." The media storm was merciless. Sponsors pulled out, studios backed away, and Joan? She appeared on the cover of Life magazine, basking in praise for her sacrifice for modern cinema. Lana realized too late she had been used as currency. An anonymous producer later revealed Joan sold roles in scandals like stock trades. Lana, vulnerable and desperate, was simply another pawn. The rumors grew darker. Gossip columns hinted she was wrecking Joan's marriage. She hid in her house for weeks, paralyzed by fear. On February 26th, her diary held a single line, "I drank half a bottle of sleeping pills, but I woke up. I couldn't let her write the last chapter of my life." Shattered, Lana retreated into rehab under a false name. Meanwhile, Joan swept onto the stage in a bright red gown to accept her Golden Globe for Queen Bee. The audience roared, Only Lana knew the cruelty behind the applause. But just as the world thought her story was over, one final woman entered her life, not with betrayal, not with humiliation, but with a deception so deep it left Lana silent forever. Her name was Jean Tierney. Among all the women who scarred Lana Turner, none cut deeper than Jean Tierney. Not because of scandal splashed across headlines, not because of public humiliation, but because Jean left Lana with something far worse: silence. They met in early 1955 at a glittering charity gala in New York's Waldorf Astoria. Jean had retreated from Hollywood after her daughter's tragic illness. Lana, in contrast, was clawing her way back into the spotlight. They were seated side by side at the head table. After 2 glasses of red wine, Jean led Lana to the balcony for a smoke. By the next evening, they had already arranged their first secret meeting. For 4 months, Jean was a fixture in Lana's Beverly Hills penthouse, under the guise of a script advisor. She was magnetic, disarming, and persuasive. When she asked Lana to invest $75,000 into a new company called Silver Compass, a supposed sanctuary for actresses shunned by the studios, Lana agreed. She believed it was a noble cause, but Silver Compass was a ghost. No company, no registry, just a shell. 6 weeks later, an anonymous lawsuit accused Lana of aiding a money laundering scheme through fake film investments. The Los Angeles Herald-Examiner broke the story, hinting that a top A-list actress was complicit in European fraud. The fallout was immediate. MGM pulled Lana from the Swan just 36 hours before the announcement. Contracts vanished overnight. Reporters camped outside her home. And Jean? She disappeared. No calls, no goodbyes. Gone, as if she had never existed. 3 weeks later, Lana collapsed. Doctors at Cedars of Lebanon Hospital diagnosed her with acute anxiety and nervous exhaustion. Nurses recalled she repeated only one plea: "Please don't say her name. I swear, I'll never speak of her again." The FBI found no solid evidence against Lana, but Hollywood didn't care. Her career remained suspended for nearly a year. In the silence that followed, she buried the truth, not out of fear, but out of shame. Years later, asked what she regretted most, Lana whispered, "There are things I must keep silent about, not because I fear judgment, but because admitting them means admitting I once loved someone who wasn't real." Jean Tierney didn't just betray Lana. She stole her honor, her trust, and finally, her voice.